What is good? It's your boy. You know what I'm saying? Another episode with Michael Turner. Episode 34. We're in this bitch. We made it all the way to 34. For some reason, I think of Shaquille O'Neal. I think he was 34 as a Laker, I believe. 34 also Bo Jackson. A lot of good 34s. Shout out to the 3-4. 3-4 is zone defense. Pretty good defense. If you need a defensive tackle in the middle of your defensive line, that's going to be a pretty core ingredient there. I think the Ravens made that famous in the early 2000s. So, welcome. Episode 34. We're here. It's a new, speaking of 34, how about 24? 2024. We're in this bitch. Happy New Year. We are doing things. It is a brand new year, a brand new you. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Is that what people do? Maybe. I don't know. What's your perspective on it? I know that a lot of people take this time of year to switch things up, really refocus on themselves. I love that a lot of people are like, yo, you don't have to do that. You can do that any time of year. It's like, yeah, well, but it's definitely the easiest time of year at the beginning of the year. So shut the fuck up, okay? Let them be. I do sometimes think that it's annoying people get their goals. Like the first couple of months, people are super goal-oriented and all that shit. And then by the end of the year, people are just trying to hang on for dear life. You never hear anybody talking about accomplishing, I don't know, I guess you do at the end of the year, but typically most of my conversations with my friends are them just trying to hang on till the end of the year. So, I hope that's not the same energy that we're all getting in 2024. But, it is what it is. Life is fucking hard, okay? I thought I'd be popping a little bit more by now, but I'm sitting here talking to you. If you like this, please like it and share it and fucking comment, okay? 2024 got to be different for me, and it starts with you guys. I'm going to start doing more. You're going to start doing more. How about that as a fucking resolution, okay? Let's fucking team up together, make this shit change. But either way, coming off pretty hard to start the year. I apologize for my tone. But it is also a new year in the way that the Bengals season ended. This is done. They have a whole new football game left next week in Cleveland. But at the end of the day, they're not in the playoffs, which is the aspirations that they had at the beginning of the year, which were Super Bowl, big Super Bowl energy at the beginning of the year. Not the case. Definitely not the case anymore. But yeah, it was the end of the Rogue Warrior Tour too. Speaking of things that I accomplished in 2023 and looking back on it, I did make a stand-up comedy tour revolving around the Cincinnati Bengals road schedule. And you know what? It was pretty damn fun. And I didn't know what to make of it at the beginning of it. Honestly, I thought it would be, I don't know. It's funny. I sometimes temper my expectations because I don't want to get too high above myself and then disappoint myself. But, I definitely didn't expect to have, a relationship with the Bengals media team. I didn't expect to have, make so many new fans and, get some traction on. Your boy got traction on Twitter this year a little bit, which is not that much. You're going to look at it and be like, oh, he's got 1,000 followers. But before this year, I was like, I never did anything on Twitter. So we got some things going with that. Some new followers, some new connections made through the Bengals fan base, and then also through the actual Bengals. So it was dope. I don't think I had expectations of it getting to that point. And so in that way, it's really dope. I think we sold out 3 cities, and we did really good with numbers in a lot of other ones. This Kansas City one was actually the best city outside of Nashville, Cincinnati, and Phoenix, which I have an unfair advantage in each of those markets, obviously. Not Nashville. Nashville was dope that it packed out, but Kansas City was one of the best attended shows outside of any of those markets, so it was dope. Kansas City is also a city that I feel like would fuck with your boy. This is the fucking middle of America, dude. It is the middle of nowhere and the center of everything. You know what I mean? Figure that out. But Kansas City was cool. We did a show in a super sketchy little live music venue. You had the band ripping in the other room. This dude was actually doing a stand-up drum set, which I have not seen, I don't think, ever. But he was the lead singer and drummer. And I think to sing as good as he did, he stood up and played drums. I'd never seen it before. But I'll tell you what, they were playing Van Morrison, Into the Mystic, and he was kind of ripping. So I'll give him that. I'll give you that, bro. So, but it was a place called Knuckleheads. It was like right on the train tracks too. It was a bunch of like Lake of the Ozarks looking motherfuckers. It was definitely like, I think that part of the country is very odd to me. Because, yeah, you've seen like the show Ozarks and stuff like that. It's like a lot of people like that, but they live in a city area. Or they're like that adjacent. I don't know. Like there was a group of people that I was like, "What's your guys' deal?" And these women were like, "They're captains." And I was like, "All right." So like I'm thinking like Navy, these are Army guys. Like, what do you mean captains? These motherfuckers just own boats. Is all she was trying to say. They all three of them have boats, and obviously you're the captain of that boat. That's just called boat ownership. You know what I mean? But they went down to Branson, Missouri, and they owned boats, and they were kind of flexing on the whole crowd with that, which was interesting, to say the least. But it was a fun ass show. It's the middle of America for sure. Like those people there were, just some crusty veterans. I had like it was a crowd that had like some older people too, so I had to like revamp kind of what type of jokes I was going to do. If it's super old people, I always like to do the jokes about Catholicism that I have, if you've seen those. Some of my favorite jokes, because they're definitely old enough to understand all the biblical references and stuff like that. But then what you realize is when you're like halfway through a joke like that, is that they're actually still super religious. And they're like, bro, why are you talking shit about my God, dog? That's my God, dog. And they didn't love that. They didn't love that. So maybe I should get more jokes about senior housing. And then I definitely did the dumb thing of saying, like, because it was an aggressively white crowd, and I was like, any non-whites? And the only non-white there was a Muslim that was dating a Steelers fan. And, the crowd turned on them pretty quickly. I think it was more hopefully I'm thinking for the Steelers thing, but didn't help that she was Muslim, I don't think, in this room. You know what I mean? So talk about going 0 for 2 as a couple. But they were awesome. They sat front row. They were cool. I think they're still banging on a regular basis. They were a fun couple. So I appreciate you. Kansas City, good people. For the most part, very good people. The fans were fun. We had some good times. It was definitely dope. And yeah, if you're ever in Kansas City and you need like a local live music place, Knuckleheads, dude. Talk about like sometimes you get on stage and there's like multiple things you have to get past as doing stand up. Like you have to push past sometimes just a room that sucks maybe, or like sometimes there's like a room where you're doing where like there's TVs in the back that are still on, so there's distractions and shit like that. This one had one of the tougher situations. First of all, there was live music going on the other side of the building, so you could kind of hear it, but it was faint enough where it didn't really impact the enjoyment of the stand-up and shit like that. Like as long as you locked in, you were good. But the one thing they have was it was close to a train station, and so at any moment you could be interrupted by a fucking train. And like, think about it. That's not a quick situation. We've all seen trains. Sometimes these things, especially in the middle of the country, are like 10, 15-minute ordeal. Honestly, it's unfathomable sometimes how long these fucking trains can be. And it was a squeaky boy, but it didn't happen during my set though. So that was when I was thankful. It was I had a couple of comics before me. I think it was like this, either the host or it was the host actually. The first comic that went up, literally right when he got up, like within a couple minutes, the train, you could hear it. And he did a professional job. Dude named Dustin, good dude, good comic, funny guy. He like muscled through it. You don't even address the train that everybody can fucking hear. And you hear the fucking thing squeaking in and all that stuff, all the noises that you can imagine with a train. Because it's like right there. Super close. And also, there's nothing very funny usually you have distractions. Like sometimes you'll have like a helicopter going over a show. If you're outside, you do a lot of outdoor shows in LA because the weather's nice. You might have something about like, oh, they're looking for you or something like that. Or like an ambulance or sirens. You hear sirens. There's usually a throwaway joke you can have. Train. I don't think there's a lot of train humor that can be made. That's gonna be just gonna hit super hard. So you're just gonna really eat the bullet on that. I did a show one time, I think in Tucson, Arizona, that was at a brewery, and it was a great little room to do comedy. It was so good that you were like, it's too good to be true. And literally during my set, I'm doing like 12, 15 minutes or something like that. Or I might have been headlining, so I don't know. I might have been doing longer. But there was a 5-minute train coming through. And luckily it didn't stop. This train in Kansas City stopped and then kept moving. The one in Tucson just kept moving, but it was like you couldn't have been close to this train. It was like the building was here, and it ended like, I don't know. It was a 25-foot wide room, so the wall was right there. Like 10 feet away from the wall outside was just a train muscling through, dude. Crushing. You ever really get eyes on a train and think, like, who's running and getting on a train, though? Like the movies and shit? I don't think that's... Or you ever see these fights on top of a train? I don't know if you've seen the most recent Mission Impossible, but there's a lot of movies with fights on top of a train. Get real, dude. Act real. That is not going down like that. Nobody's keeping their balance like that. Also, multiple Mission Impossible movies have train stuff. And honestly, I think TC can do anything he puts his mind to. I get that. Actually, that's probably the one person that I believe could do it. But beyond that, I mean, who's fighting? Who's fighting on a train? I would just be like, dude, when this train stops, we're going to fucking, fight, dude. But as this train's still moving, let's just sit here and hold on. Because this is pretty concerning stuff. And we could die. But yeah, train stuff, dude. And then what else did I do in Kansas City? I hit a bar after the show. There's some good local comics that were cool. Funny guys. And we went to, they were like, there's a good dive bar that we go to sometimes in this one part of town. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. Show was over at like 10 or something like that. It was nice. We had some time to get some things done. I didn't want to. And then the nice thing was the Bengals game wasn't until 3:30 the next day. Usually it's like a 1 o'clock game, so I got to get up and get out to the tailgate at like 10. But this was a 3:30 game, so I didn't have to get to the tailgate till like 1. It was nice. So hit that. That was fun. I love seeing a dive bar in a different city because if it's done right, it's the same. A dive bar in any city is kind of the same, right? There's a pretty prominent pool table at some point in the bar. You're going to be there might be like 1 or 2 main rooms in this dive bar. There's going to be a pool table that's active too. It's not, there isn't a moment that there's somebody not waiting on the next game. This one had actually a wall that was not even like concrete or anything. It was like just a wood panel with some chalk that they just wrote names over, and then when somebody was out, they would hand wipe it off. It was nice. It's a good dive bar. Nobody in that room has washed their hands ever. There's usually darts, but there's not always darts. But there's usually like one other game involved in the dive bar that you can do. This one had darts. This also had like one of the swinging hook games, which I know is pretty popular in the Midwest, where you sit back and you hold it, and it has to hook on the thing on the wall, which was crazy to have because it was right by the bathroom. So you would leave the bathroom and almost get like hit by a piece of metal flying on a rope. That was fun. And then they also had darts. So you're leaving the restroom and you're dodging a dart and a metal hook. That's pretty cool. And then you've got a bathroom that's seen some of the darkest moments in people's lives. You're going to get a dive bar has a bathroom that has seen all walks of drugs. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are like, ooh, that's a big cocaine bathroom. It's like, dude, that's a big ketamine bathroom. That's a big Molly bathroom. Whatever you can snort, you've done that. Adderall, a little Diet Coke, never hurt nobody. You know what I mean? That's been in that bathroom. There's a lot of stuff going on in that bathroom. Let me tell you that straight up, okay? And so that has seen some stuff. It's seen people just go in there just to vape. So those bathrooms are also, they have they're just littered with bands, stickers of bands and shit like that, and like pretty shitty graffiti. It's fun. It's fun stuff. They'll have it. In Phoenix, it's called Gracie's is the bar that we used to go to. Special bar. And this one was called, I don't even know what it was called, honestly. But it was a good bar in Kansas City. And it was like, you could tell. I always like bars like that because I feel like when I walk in, luckily I walked in knowing a couple people with the comics and stuff, but I'm not the type of dude that they would think that would be in a bar like this. Not to say I'm like super clean cut or anything like that. I don't know. I'm wearing Puma sweatpants. That's definitely not that type of bar. But this is like a grungy, like, these dudes have like fully formed opinions on NoFX and like some deep grunge. Some punk rock bands I never even heard of. GB8, I think, is a thing. You can correct me if I'm wrong. GBH, I should say. They like things like that. They like that one musician that like ate human shit on stage in like 1987. They think highly of him. You know what I mean? That's what most of these people are. They're a little pretentious. They're so pretentious that they think less of you if you don't just order like a High Life. High Life is like this bar's signature thing, and that's where you earn respect. Which actually I like that more. I hate going to like, I've been to like Portland and like the upper Northwest and shit like that, where you'll pull up and be like, dude, just give me a Bud Light, and they'll be like, we don't fucking have Bud Light, and I'm like, just give me you know what the fuck I want. Give me your lightest, weakest, fucking most regular ass beer, you piece of shit. And if you do that in this bar, you're good. They're like, dude, all we have is High Life, and it's $2. You're welcome. So, shout out to dive bars everywhere. I like a good dive. Usually has a good jukebox too. I actually don't think this one had a jukebox working. I don't know if I analyzed it good. But this one also had like good booths. There was like a corner booth where you're like, dude, there has been some of the worst decisions ever made in this city have occurred and been thought of in that corner booth. It's nice. It's important. It's important. And then it was a nice weekend. It's a good weekend. Like most of my weekends on the road this year. We've had 10 solid-ass weekends, and then they were ruined by the game. So, obviously, coming into the season, I thought we'd be, honestly, I thought we'd definitely be in the mix for the Super Bowl. I never, assume, I'm a Bengals fan. I'm never going to straight up assume, yo, dog, we're going to the Super Bowl, for sure. It was crazy when it happened the other year. We were 10-7, and we just went on a heater. It was crazy. And then last year, you go back to the AFC Championship and you're like, dude, we can fucking do this every year. I definitely didn't expect to have a season like we had. But there's a lot of things that go into it. There's injuries and shit like that. Mainly, I guess, not to say dismiss that, injuries were the biggest thing, right? Like if Joe Burrow's still playing, we were in a lot of these games with Jake Browning. We won 3 of the games. I'm pretty sure that Joe Burrow could have won the 3 games that Jake Browning won. And then the other games that we were kind of in, this Kansas City game, we were fucking in that thing till the fourth quarter. We just couldn't get a drive done to get 6 in there. We were down by, it was a 1-score game for the whole game, we were up early, but then once they took the lead, they were just kicking field goals. So that's fucking frustrating. But the year as a whole was amazing, and it was really dope. The nicest thing that happened was how Burrow got injured, and we still were able to have hope for 3-4 weeks with Jake Browning. That was the most appreciative I was of the season. Because when Burrow went down, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was like, damn, I put this whole fucking tour together just to have the season just fucking fall apart like that. And because you know what happens is when you lose, when the team's losing, people just lose interest in everything attached to the team. And I was definitely directly attached to the team. So it was concerning. So to get the Jake Browning excitement and to have those, 3-game win streak and have that happen was dope. And it was awesome. And it was a lot of hard work I put into this and scheduling it and shit like that. And to have people come out and be following me. In Kansas City, there was a dude that came in a night early, drove in from Omaha a night early just to see me do stand-up. And he was a Kansas City fan. And it was dope, dude. Things like that are cool as hell. There was one dude that was there that has supported me for he said like 4 or 5 years. I think he remembered me from a podcast that I was mentioned on like 4 years ago or something. And he's like, I've been following you ever since, bro. It was cool to see you live. And I was like, hell yeah, bro. Fucking hell yeah. So like shit like that was dope. This whole year was dope. Like I said, like football wise, like it didn't line up where we wanted to, but I mean, shit, it was a pretty cool. It was a spicy little year, and it sucked that. It sucks trying to be positive about the year too because they're out of the playoffs, but like they're at 8-8. I didn't think if you told me that Joe Burrow would get injured, it would start the year injured and almost immobile, and then get injured in like week 9, like I thought the whole thing would fall apart. Like we were in the playoff hunt till the last minute, till this past week, and also we were in the toughest division in football. Like if we were in the AFC South or the AFC West, we'd probably be fucking 10-7, or looking at going 10-7 or something like that. Like I just saw we had the hardest schedule, not in the NFL. We had the hardest schedule, I think, in the NFL this year, but also it was one of the hardest schedules in the past like 4 or 5 years in the NFL. Again, not trying to make excuses, but I'm saying like, again, if you told me that this is what happened and Burrow got injured and we had Jake Browning starting more like almost half of our games for the year and shit like that, I would be like, dude, with the hardest schedule in the league, we're probably going fucking, 6-11, shit like that. So that wasn't the case. We scrapped it together. The boys were fighting. Hopefully they can make the right decisions in the offseason, lock in, get our boy Burrow back. Let's fucking go. Kansas City as a whole, though, if you've never been to Kansas City first of all, to party, I didn't party as much this time. I did the dive bar scene this time, which I think is fun. That's like a better way to see a city, in my opinion. But I remember doing the Light District, I think it's called, or something like that, dude. It was great. We did that last year. Like, you can get reckless in Kansas City. They got great barbecue. There's a dude telling me that he's like, yo, a lot of cities got like 1 or 2 good barbecue places, and this is the best 1 or 2 places in the country. Dude, Kansas City got like 10 of the best places in the country. So next time he told me when I come, he's going to line up a barbecue tour for me. It'll be like back door. We'll go into the kitchen and shit like that and get the chef's tour. I'm like, dude, fucking A. So I'm looking forward to coming back to Kansas City. And also, next year, the schedule is, I think it's confirmed because we're definitely last in the division regardless of what happens. So our opponents are confirmed as well. Next year's schedule is going to be dope as hell. So next year will be New York, L.A., Kansas City again. So I'll pull up on that fucking barbecue tour. You better believe that. And there's one other major city. Oh, Nashville again. And then Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and one other one. But, like, those are dope cities. Excuse me. For me to be hitting. And those are major markets and shit like that. So, like, I think the momentum of this year, bring it into next year. Let's keep this thing rolling. So, again, I keep saying it, but, like, I truly appreciate everybody that supported me and shit like that. It was a year that I put a lot out. I played my hand pretty aggressively, and I didn't see the immediate dividends on it in a money way, but, like, in, like, a movement way and, like, momentum way and shit like that. Like, I know that we're making strides and we're doing things. So everybody that's rocking with me, just keep rocking with me. We're going to keep pushing. And 2024 is going to be exciting. So, and that's one thing, too, that I'm trying to work on, too. I don't know if this is me just projecting on you, but, just think positive thoughts and positive things will happen. And I think there were points specifically the past few months, I've been overworked. I felt like I've been underappreciated and underpaid and all that shit. And that's just this industry. I don't know if you're in a job where you feel like that way all the time, but man, if you want to really be underappreciated, just be a stand-up comedian. Because this shit and it's lonely as fuck, and it can be really trying. And so I know that, I just got to keep with the positive mental attitude and continue to keep pushing into this year. I know I was kind of clowning resolutions early in the year, but like definitely just trying to maintain a positive focus on what I can control and keep fucking pushing and building momentum off of everything that I've already gained. Because I'm a funny motherfucker. I got some cool auditions coming up this year. I got some cool meetings that have been sparked, potentially from this past tour that I just did, but also just from my body of work that I've done. So like there's dope momentum moving, and at the end of the day, it'll never move as quickly as I want it to. I want it to just shoot to the skies real quick, but that's not reality. That's not how most things work, right? Be patient, keep grinding, keep chipping away. And so I'm ready for the work. I've been working. Hey, I've been grinding my whole life, son. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Childish Gambino. I've been grinding on my whole life. I think he says the N word in there, but you know what I mean. Other than that, the most exhausting thing the last week was I did this whole thing, and then it was like the show was the 30th, and then the game was on the 31st on New Year's Eve, and then I literally left the stadium. Luckily, went with a buddy, Mick Rice, who's a comic in Kansas City, and he drove me to the game. He helped me with shooting the footage and all that stuff. And check that out. That's on YouTube. The video prior to this, if you're watching on YouTube right now, is the Kansas City tailgate. Fun stuff. We got some good interactions. One of the most drunk dudes I've ever seen in Kansas City. Took his shirt off, ran the flag around. Great guy, and shockingly single. You know what I mean? And but it was New Year's Eve, though, so we got in the car right after the game and went straight to the airport. So that was exhausting. Then went straight to the airport, literally jumped on a flight, flew back to LAX, got in an Uber, and went straight home. And got home, like, right before midnight at, like, 11:15. And I was like, man, I could have gone out and done something for midnight, but it's like, dude, I'm 37. I don't give a fuck about this shit. You know what I mean? I used to just care, bro. Used to like coordinate a whole night, coordinate a whole outfit, shit like that. Like for some reason you always like dressing to the nines on New Year's. You're putting it out there. I remember like always thinking like, yo, I'm gonna get a kiss at midnight, blah, blah, blah. Whenever I was single, I didn't have that type of game. Never did it. The funniest thing that ever happened was my brother did. He ended up, I think, making out with a lesbian Navajo in Flagstaff, Arizona when it was like -8 degrees. And we had it on an old digital camera that we had for a couple years. Meanwhile, we found this digital camera on a bar floor in Tempe, Arizona sometime. Found it, literally just kept it, and just used it as our own for the next 3 years until we lost it. So, RIP to that camera. That had some stuff on it. And that had a video of my brother at midnight in Flagstaff, Arizona in 2000, whatever year that Kanye dropped the album with Monster, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. What was that, 2010? Going into 2010 or going into 2011? Yeah, we had the video of him making out with his Navajo, and it was, I don't know how to recreate it, but it was one of the funniest videos ever. He was so thirsty for this kiss, dude. He was trying to he was kissing this chick like it was like a fucking R&B video in the 1990s. You know what I mean? Like a John B video where he was like trying to express like how he's always felt about this woman. It was crazy. And this chick was like, they kissed, and for some reason she wasn't around her girlfriend, or I don't know if she had a girlfriend at the time or something, but she's like, I'm actually a lesbian, and this is super cute, and I appreciate you. I'm out. It's -8 degrees. Why are we outside? That was a fun one. And then my brother was left alone, freezing cold with just a stiffy, a -8 degree stiffy, fully erect. Shout out to JT, legend in his own right. But this time, yeah, I passed out, dude. I got home at like 11:15. I didn't even watch the ball drop. I don't give a fuck. Also, LA, we get the delayed one. What am I going to watch? Ryan Seacrest on delay? What are we talking about? And then also, like, the New Year's Eve thing. Like, if you want to just feel old, just watch the New Year's Eve ball drop thing every year, and you'll be like, who are these people? Who are these celebrities? I don't even know who the fuck these people are anymore. I knew one of the. I looked at like some videos of the Seacrest one. One of the chicks was, I think, the black chick from The Little Mermaid, the new Little Mermaid. Other than that, I don't know. I didn't know anybody, and I don't even know her name. I think it's Halle Berry, but I know I'm wrong on that. It's something like Halle Berry though, because I know Halle Berry. It's not her. Do you know what I'm saying? Also, like, who the fuck are these people? You just feel dated. You know what I mean? But I was exhausted, dude. And it was nice to not feel like I used to like do things like that and you feel like you're missing something growing up. Like you're even like early 30s, I would have felt like the FOMO of like, what did I miss? What happened? Did some crazy shit happen? I was going to sleep like, bro, I don't give a fuck what I missed, bro. And it was lovely to not feel that. I was just catching these Z's. And every year you just start understanding your parents more and more. You know, 'cause I remember growing up and like thinking like, yo, this is a big deal. You're good with just staying in tonight, Mom? You're just crashing on the couch, not doing a fucking thing? Are you sure? You don't want to get zooted up with your son and go fucking crash some party that I wasn't really invited to, but I know two friends that are definitely going to be there. And when I pull up, I'm going to be like, yo, Sam told me to come through. Don't fucking be so weird. Here's $5 for your cup, bro. Let me get that kegerator, doggy. No, I don't miss any of that. And it's nice. It's nice to not miss that. You know? New Year's. And it, you know, there's sometimes you get so fucked up, you ruin a relationship that really matters to you. You know, you just get hammered drunk. It's also like amateur hour too. It's always the night when like people that never drink end up drinking to excess. That's horrible. For some reason, it's a big comedy night too. I've never really understood it, but it kind of makes sense. I guess it's a night where like if you go to a stand-up show, you can like just say that you did something, if that makes sense. Like if you're kind of a boring couple and you don't do a lot, you can at least say, yo, we did do that thing. We did go to a stand-up show that night, and then we went home, and then we didn't do nothing. But there's also stand-up shows that like the show ends with the countdown at the end of the night, and it's like the headliner is up there at midnight. That's an interesting one for sure. That some people like that type of shit. It's funny, like thinking about all I need is people to go to comedy shows and to support me and shit like that. But I'm always like, who the fuck would do that? The people that I need all you guys to come to comedy shows all the time. But then I look at people that actually do it, like especially on New Year's Eve. I'm like, the fuck kind of monster is going to a comedy show on New Year's Eve? So, but I appreciate you guys for doing it. And I hope that next year I'm headlining a huge fucking room and you guys are all out there. And I'm sitting there wondering why the fuck you're there and talking shit directly to you as you've already paid me to be there for the night. And I cashed that check already. Holla at your boy. But, yeah, New Year's. Hopefully you guys had a good, healthy, safe New Year's. 2024, it is upon us. It is weird. It's so weird. I remember thinking, like, being, like, 10, 12, 15 years old and thinking, like, yo, it's going to be crazy when it's this year or whatever like that. And now it's, like, this year. And you're just like, this is not as crazy as I thought it would be. The cars are still pretty much the same. You know what I mean? I'm about to sneeze, by the way. Sorry. I'd tell you I'm going to edit it out, but I probably won't. So, if you are in the car right now and you say, God bless me, thank you, bro. For real. What type of person doesn't say God bless you? I say it to people I dislike greatly. If you sneeze, isn't it one of those things? I think I saw it in that movie Dogma. That somebody didn't say it to Matt Damon, and he was a fallen angel with Ben Affleck, and I think he went and shot him, killed the guy. So I think about scenes like that when I decide to say God bless you. I don't want to die if an angel's around. But it's 2024. What the fuck's going on? Like, there's movies that I used to watch, like, growing up, like, I don't know, Total Recall is a good example. I'm trying to think. But, like, movies that you're, like, they're set in the future, and it's, like, this year. Or around this year, and you're like, that's not realistic at all. Nope. But I was just thinking about, like, the most exciting I ever was 2001, I guess it would have been. And yeah, I was like a freshman in high school, and I'll never forget when The Lord of the Rings was announced that it was coming out on Christmas. And then it also did the thing that I don't think a lot of people do this ever, other than like maybe Marvel, because they coordinate their drops. But they were like, yo, it's coming out this Christmas, and then next Christmas, Two Towers, bro. And then the Christmas after that, Return of the King, bro. let's fucking go. And that was like I remember being, whatever the first year of it dropped, being like, dude, this is crazy. You know how fucking exciting it's going to be when we do that? Meanwhile, fast forward 2 more years, I had already started smoking, and I think I ate an edible with my buddy Sam Oxtein and his family. Ate this crazy edible that his mom had flown in from Amsterdam, she'd had it in the freezer. Ate that, went to see the Return of the King, passed out midway through the film. Didn't even in theaters. I can say that I never watched it in theaters. I had to wait for the fucking Blu-ray. Because in theaters, I passed out halfway through because I was so fucked up. And also, think about how fucked up I had to be. You know how loud that movie is? Why don't you go watch Return of the King again? You know how loud that fucking whole movie is? That's crazy. I was zonked out, dude. I don't even know. Fucking dragons, eagles flying over, shit like that. Your boy's out, dude. I was orked out, dude. Orked up and orked out. But, just looking forward to things. 2024. It's crazy to think it's going to be 2025 next year. It's also crazy to think we got a fucking election year this year. Dog shit people. I do love the fact that it's funny how divided we are as a nation, but we all can agree that these are dog shit candidates, I feel like nobody's excited one way or the other of who we're going to have to decide. We're like, again? Are you fucking kidding me? This is what's happening? This is like fucking, how many rematches is this? This is crazy. And you just hope that one of them passes away before November, I don't know if that's actually a good thing or a bad thing. It would definitely make things interesting. That's for sure. And the crazy thing is that either of them could pass away from fucking natural causes. It wouldn't be an assassination. It'd be like, yeah, that checks out. These dudes are old as fuck. It's insane. My mother is 77. I can't even imagine, not only my mom, but anybody that she knows coming up to me and be like, I'm thinking about running the country, the most powerful nation in the whole fucking world. It's nuts. But then the other opposite side of that is like, it's funny to think we got these people that are old as shit, 80 years old. Biden will be, if he's continues on with the presidency, he'd have to live till 84, which is like, it ain't nothing. That's asking kind of a lot. And, but the other side of it would be, like, what do you want? Somebody young and shit like that? Like, I'm 37. Like, what do you want? One of my homies to run the country? So it's tough. I get it. Somebody about to be 40, like, these are not, I've got close friends. They should not be running the country. You know what I mean? So maybe we should just punt it away. See what happens. What do they do in Europe? Parliament? They got the parliament? Let's see if we can get the parliament going. You know what I mean? Go back to that. A little taxation without representation. I don't know. 2024 should be an interesting year. It's already kicked off to an interesting year. I was looking at some headlines already. Like, I loved that Green Day was being called out for being too anti-right wing. Like, they're super pissed that I guess they changed the lyrics to one of their songs to have something to do with hating on MAGA or something like that. And the right wing is like, yo, fuck Green Day. You guys don't like us? Fuck you. It's like, dude, have you been listening to Green Day? They have fucking always hated you, bro. I think they're literally changing the lyrics of that because the other lyrics were about George W. Bush. Do you remember American Idiot? It's like that's why real Green Day fans stopped fucking with Green Day because they went political and then started attacking you. And now you're shocked that Green Day has a political agenda? Are you fucking kidding me? It's been doing this for 20 years. They literally became super popular when they made an album about the Bush administration. What's going on? They're just doing, it's all these headlines that just piss us off a little bit. Just calm down. We can all collectively hate Green Day because they fucking sold out in the early 2000s. Why don't we just do that? You don't have to hate them because they got political. Just agree that they fucking jumped the shark. You know what I mean? We can all still respect Dookie and remember what that meant. Those are my earliest memories of music. It was Woodstock 1994? It had to be, right? And either 94 or 99. But I remember whatever one had When I Come Around on it, live version. literally it had like 27 songs on it, the CD. I would, you could just on a CD-ROM or whatever, put it on repeat. Also, this song was like 2.5 minutes. I had that song on repeat, playing some video games. Because my dad had a computer. We were kind of flush for a little bit. Second term Clinton, we kind of had some paper coming in the Turner household. You know what I mean? CD-ROM was kind of cooking in the basement. We had some or not video games. What are they called? Like PC games or whatever like that. I wish I could remember the game that I played. And I played that song though on repeat like fucking probably thousands of times for sure on that Woodstock album. And I would just play this game. I wish I could go back and remember what that game was because it was probably. You ever like really gone back and played a game that you used to love? Like it was probably the worst game in the world. But you don't know. It's all a matter of perspective. You know what I mean? 2024, now we got fucking. I remember GTA, whatever it was. I never got into the GTA stuff, but I remember it being cutting edge shit. Like, GTA 1 was even cutting edge shit. And then the second one came out, I was like, dude, this is nuts. I remember when Tomb Raider had triangle titties, and I was like, this is pretty crazy stuff. You think it'll get any better than this? I don't see it getting better than this. I just put the butler in the back cooler, and he's fucking walking around like an idiot. This is crazy. This is nuts. The other thing that started the year off hot, I'm recording this on Wednesday afternoon, and this entire day has been popping with Katt Williams went on the Shannon Sharp show and just is starting fucking just blasting off. And I love that shit. I think I'm into it. I hope that might be a theme for the year, but like it's a crazy way to start the year with such Katt Williams is just coming for every and anybody. Just fucking blasting off on the entire like black comedian community. I think even Gary Owen got a stray on there. But he started talking shit about Cedric the Entertainer, who I love. I love Cedric the Entertainer. I didn't know that he stole a joke from him, actually. Makes me think a little less of Cedric the Entertainer, but he still made me laugh so fucking hard throughout the years. And so I still got love for you, but that's a tough look. Because I will always side with Katt Williams. I don't know if you know that about me. But Katt Williams is definitely one of the greatest comedians of my lifetime, for sure. And he's made me laugh so fucking hard. Stand-up, just pure stand-up. I don't know if I've talked about it on this podcast, but one of my favorite things, you can look it up on, I don't know what platform it's on, but Katt Williams has a special where it's like him in Oval Office type setup, whatever the stage is, like an Oval Office. And I can look it up here. Actually, I got the computer. He's in Jacksonville. That's all I know. Jacksonville, Katt Williams. Yeah, what's it called? Great America, I believe it's called. And it's on Netflix. And it is so fucking funny. For the first 20 minutes, he literally breaks down Jacksonville. I'm not even lying. Like, and the thing is, I thought it was funny. I had never even been to Jacksonville. That's how good Katt Williams is. Katt Williams opened a Netflix special, an hour special, in a city that is very irrelevant to almost everybody in America. Like, how many people do you even know this? I've actually been to Jacksonville multiple times now. And I've told you before, it's like Pittsburgh with a beach. It's like a weird little industrial town. It reminds me of like an East Coast Long Beach. And he opens the special, spending 15 to 20 minutes just skewering, fucking just blasting Jacksonville. Like little neighborhoods you never even heard of, all these little parts of towns and shit like that. And it is so fucking funny. That is so hard to do. To make like a subject matter that literally is so nuanced, so niche to people, so fucking funny. And to start a special with that is fucking insane. Katt Williams is always, and then like the Pimp Chronicles, obviously. That's like iconic shit. Like I think anybody born in like the late 80s, we were like between like, I don't know when that came out exactly, but I remember being like, I don't know, either late teenage years or early 20s or something like that. But that was like just omnipresent. Like we all knew that special. when he was talking about how the insurgents. I never not met one insurgent. Um, talking about the weed. This shit is called death. He's like, I can't hit that. I got shit to do tomorrow. Um, just so funny. Katt Williams is so funny. And now he's on this rampage on Shannon Sharp's thing, and he's just coming at everybody. And it's great. I fucking love it. If you ever want to laugh as hard as you'll ever laugh, just watch. There's a video of Katt Williams destroying a radio DJ on, I don't know what it was. It was a local radio show. And she started to clap back at him. She thought that she was going to be able to, like, get some burns in on him. She said something about, like, his perm or, like, his hair or something like that. And he literally spent, like, the next 3 minutes just destroying this woman entirely. Just off the spot, like, off top of the head. Just going at her. And so it's nice to see him. I got to watch this whole Shannon Sharp thing, but I'm just seeing the clips right now. And he's just fucking blasting away. And hopefully that's what this year is. Hopefully 2024 is about that. It's about people being honest, being truthful, saying some shit that's uncomfortable. That'd be nice. I feel like we're at that point in America where we can just, we're all, the government's starting to be honest with us. They're talking about aliens and shit like that. We're getting the Epstein list out next week. We're going to see all these names. Or is it next week? I don't know. I think they've been talking about it for like a week and a half now. We're going to get to see all these Epstein names. That's going to be fun. I don't know what we're going to do with it. That's the thing is, like, I feel like we're getting to a point where we're getting so much information that we've always asked for it. Like, we've always been in a society where we've asked for this information, but, like, what are we going to do when we get it? You know what I mean? It's like a dog chasing a car. Like, okay, but when you catch up to that car, what the fuck you gonna do? You ain't gonna bite that car. You can't do nothing to that car. And so it's interesting now we have all this information. Like, what the fuck we gonna do? What are we gonna do with all this information? If Bill Clinton is all over this Jeffrey Epstein thing, what are we gonna do? We all kind of know that already. I don't know. What, you gonna just defame him? He already got his money. He's already fucked all the young women in the world that he wanted to. We can definitely judge Hillary a little bit more because she knew that what was going on. That's always fun, making sure that we know how bad of a person she is. But I don't know. It would have been fun if she would have won the presidency and then this shit was coming out. That'd be fun. But they're kind of like, they're not out of sight, out of mind. The Clintons are always like omnipresent. But, you know, that's on there. Bill Gates is going to be on there. Pretty sure. There's going to be a lot of celebrities on there. And then Aaron Rodgers' punk ass is trying to throw Jimmy Kimmel under the bus. Then he's going to be on there. That was crazy, too. That's how this year started. Aaron Rodgers going on ESPN and pretty much saying Jimmy Kimmel was a fucking pedophile. Crazy. This year's going to be crazy. It's going to be truth, honesty, uncomfortable conversations. I can't wait. So 2024, man. But we're here. We're here now. Katt Williams starting off with a bang. Aaron Rodgers is coming out swinging. People are starting to hate Green Day for reasons that should have been the same reason you hated them 20 years ago. It's beautiful stuff. I can't wait. So yeah. Hopefully there's more to dive into this year. Hopefully there's more movies too that are better. I know that there's like a lot of like movies the last couple of months that came out and people really fuck with, but like, I don't know. This year, there's so few opportunities for me to be excited about going to the movie theater. That's what I hope 2024 gives me reasons to go to the movie theater. There's one preview that I got excited about recently. Oh, Dune. I just rewatched Dune, the first Dune. The good one, the more recent one with Chalamet. Also, if you haven't seen that movie I fuck with that movie a lot. I've watched it now. I think I've watched it 3 times, but I just watched it on a plane. Also, you shouldn't watch it on your phone on a plane. That's not the most ideal situation. On a Spirit plane, flying from Kansas City to LAX, it wasn't the best situation to watch Dune. But it played. It worked out. But Dune 2, or whatever they're calling it, the second installment of Dune, I'm excited for that. I'm sure there's a couple other ones that I want to like go to the movie theaters and see, but it's just like, I just hope we get movies back again. Because it's funny, I'm just watching old movies now. And I'll be watching these movies and I'm like, man, they wouldn't even make this. I'll be watching these old like true crime or not true crime movies, crime thrillers, I should say. Um, you watch them and you're like, this wouldn't even be a movie now. This would be like a 10 episode thing. Like I'm watching because now I'm watching Reacher. First of all, if you aren't watching Reacher, lock in. It's great. It's just ridiculous. They're remaking Alex Cross into a 10 episode series. They did that with Jack Ryan, the Tom Clancy novels and shit like that. Turned them into 10 episode series. I'm cool with it. I actually like when they break it down like that because I'll watch all the episodes. Like I'm not opposed to it. But a lot of these movies, you're like, man, they don't even write. They don't even make these movies anymore. And so I hope we get back to that. Or maybe that's just done. Maybe I'm just a dummy for even thinking I'll ever get back to that. But hopefully 2024 we get some good movies. I hope I can listen to some. I got away from music this year a lot too. I want to dive back into music, new music. If anybody's listening to this, you got some suggestions I should be hitting up. I definitely like hip hop, and I love the new R&B shit like that we like. I love SZA and stuff like that. The most recent album I was listening to is Boss, BAS, not BOSS, BAS, Boss. I forget what the title of the album is. Something like "We Only Tell the Truth When We're Drunk" or something like that. It's a long title, but it's good. If you want a good hip hop album, that's good. It's got like 3 tracks with J. Cole on there. Um, that's a fun one. But other than that, I haven't really dove into any new music recently either. So hopefully this next year, I'd love to get some new music, some good movies. You know, continue to be in a good, healthy relationship. Continue to be as funny as I can be on stage, off stage. Um, hoping for big things for myself and hoping for big things for you too. Happy New Year to y'all. Appreciate you guys rocking with me all last year. 2024, let's fucking keep this thing moving. I'm gonna keep building on what I'm doing and keep growing. And so, hopefully doing some new things, some old things better. I've got some projects lined up this year that I'm excited to talk about and talk to you guys about and stuff like that. So, yeah, let's keep it moving, baby. I appreciate y'all. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Love, peace, respect, trust, honesty. Treat people with compassion, dignity, all that bullshit. And fuck the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Who dey, baby. Um, and RIP to a Bengals season. But also, go out there and fuck the Browns up. You know what I'm saying? Fuck these motherfuckers. If we go 9-8, I'm pretty happy. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.